It's really cool that, in a lot of ways, and I was saying this on the bus last night, not knowing if we were in or not, but in a lot of ways, sometimes it's cooler getting in at large than it is winning your conference tournament. And because that's a sign of respect, and it's a judgment on your body of work. And it has been since 2013, and I was fortunate to be a part of that ball club, which led to 14. And I tell you what just happened in that clubhouse a few minutes ago was just organic eruption of 6 months of emotion, and really longer than that. And for a lot of us, 2 years together, not wanting to let go. Since April 23rd, we've been fighting uphill. And anytime you're in a fight or a battle, you always want to be in the highlands, and you always want to have the high ground. And we've fought from a disadvantage for about the last 6 weeks since we got swept by JMU. And like I told the guys a little while ago, take a deep breath, because the playing field is leveled back off for you now. Everybody's 0-0. And we're fighting from a position just like everybody else is now. It has been a long, hard uphill climb to get ourselves in a position to become an at-large. And, that's a testament to these kids and how they were raised and where they come from, and their belief that they're just never out of the fight, ever. And their mentality is they just outlast people, and I'll be danged if that's what they haven't done. Our thing all week in that conference tournament, we talked about David and how he embraced being in the valley when very few would embrace that. And we just said that when asked how, tell them God was with us. And I truly believe that. God was with us, and he's smiling down upon these boys. He gave them warriors' hearts and just a savage mentality to fight together. And they weren't going to let go of that. And the committee recognized that, and I'm thankful for it, because it could have gone either way. And I told our guys before this show, we will handle this like grown men, because either way you want to look at it, we put ourselves in this position. And thankfully, they saw the things that we saw and what a lot of folks around the country saw. And I don't know. Heading into Miami, we'll see who all we got. It was pretty rugged this past week, so hopefully we got enough guys to get on the plane and go get after it over there. But I've been in the Miami Regional before in 2010. It's different than anything that you could draw up in your head or that you've been to. It's a lot of times it's rainy down there. This time of year, I think we sat through 11, 12, 13 rain delays in 2010. It will be a test of resilience. It's a hitter-friendly ballpark that they know how to play very, very well in, and it's a great atmosphere. And we're just honored to get to make that trip.
You mentioned getting in as an at-large. You were here in 2013. What are the similarities with that team, this team, and what are the differences?
I don't know. In 13, just talking about the selection process, we never sweated it. It was kind of like the other end. And if you remember that year, it's a little similar to this, that conference tournament we hosted. And Florida Atlantic decided to give us a parting gift of Austin Gomber on the championship game. And I think we countered with somebody that wasn't up to Gomber's ability. And it got ugly. And but there was no sweat there, right? Now, the similarities is, kids that love to play, and pitching staff that just found a way, and some hitters that love to compete and get after the fastball.
Coach, what was you mentioned that raw emotion. What was it like to be able to share that moment with your team with the way the season?
It's like a dog pile. It's just total jubilation, and it's spontaneous. It's like when you watch those selection shows. I remember we hosted in 14 because we were top 8 seed. The selection show was out on our field, if you guys remember that. And all of that stuff's scripted. And so it's kind of anticlimactic. This, what I just witnessed in there and was a part of myself, just raw emotion. Because look, and like it or not, I'm going to say it anyway. I want you to picture one of your closest friends or relationships and find out tomorrow that they've passed. That's what it always feels like to me. And you don't get over it. It's not something that a week or two go by and you get over it. Part of the reason I came back here is because the 2014 team didn't win a national championship. You don't get over that stuff. And it hurts. And this is, if not the closest, one of the closest brotherhoods and ball clubs I've ever been a part of. And to find out that you have new life, that's the story of redemption, right?
What y'all just went through in Montgomery was not like a weekend series. It was rough. So what about coming back and rejuvenating yourself?
We'll see. We'll see. I've had teams that they shot all their bullets just getting there. We'll see. I think we did that some to ourselves in 14 when we lost to Jackson State. If y'all remember how hot it was and having to come back and take down the national runner-up twice in Mississippi State, there was a lot of energy. We'll see. I can't promise anything. We'll see where we're at. Nobody had to do what we did, play in 3 games against top 15 opponents in less than 24 hours. Plus, one thing people don't look at, we drew the night game every night. Well, everybody's like, great, that's a night game. You get in bed at 2. And then you wake up late and not for me though, I can go to bed at 2, I'm still going to get up at 5. So there's a lot of energy expended. And then it turns around and now you got to play a doubleheader after all these night games starting at 12:30. Okay. Well, miraculously, thank the Lord, we pulled that off. Well, now you got to turn around and play that championship game at 1 and make no bones about it. We showed up in a road game. They were Southern Miss. It was gold. And we had some rabid fans there ourselves, but we were extremely outnumbered. And it was rowdy, and that takes an emotional toll on you as well. No excuses. They beat us fair and square yesterday. They're a better ball club. They're the best team, in my mind, that we've played this year. Team. Because they don't bend. They're just real heavy. They lean on you and lean on you and lean on you. And Coastal is dynamically, they're just very dynamic and very talented. LSU's the most talented. Campbell's right there. Look, we've played some dogs this year now. But Southern Miss is what they are, and they're going to show up, and it's just going to be body blow, body blow, body blow. And sometimes you just hit a wall. And I thought we had our chance when we scored the 2 runs, and I got Julian thrown out. And, I broke a rule that I have for myself. Julian wasn't at third when Ewing got the baseball. He was 1 step from third. And Julian usually scores for me. But I usually save that for the Hoods, the Marshocks, the Roccos, the DeBarges of the world, because the last 30 feet, they'll outrun the baseball. It'll just lose steam. But Ewing came and got it, and he made a heck of a play, and Jude's catching 6 straight games. Maybe that cost us. I don't know, because we're on bases loaded. Maybe CJ's ball goes down the line. But when things are that fine, you start magnifying those things. But the reason I did is because where we were at in the order and who was pitching against us. And I just thought, man, I got to treat this like 2 outs. And I broke a rule and that I have for myself. Maybe that cost us. These kids gave Blake Marshall, are you serious? There's no 90% of the population of the U.S. wouldn't do what he did. We would start hearing about pitch count and this and that, and it's all about the boys. And that's what he said. Nazu, Fluno. How about JT Etheridge? Where'd that come from? If we have that all year, what's our record? It's 95, 96, 86, 88 mile an hour slider. But that's development. Those pitchers showed up. The guys that struggled in the tournament was us. Trying to score runs. We got pitched tough, and we started to show some fatigue there at the end. But God bless them, man. They gave everything they had.
Now knowing your fate and just, I guess, some of the layers to it, how important do you think the 2 wins over Coastal were? And then if you feel like it was really important to this fate, this team getting in, can you lean on something that you guys maybe tapped into that particular day to potentially push you guys through to the Super Bowl?
To answer your last, will you hand me that Diet Coke? To answer your last question, you mean to push us through to a regional?
Well, beyond regional, so Supers.
So ask the last part of that question again.
Whatever it was that you guys maybe potentially had tapped
I got
into
you.
with the 2 wins over Coastal, is there something there that you guys can lean on to push?
Yeah, I think the pitch and emerging and realizing what they really are capable of and continuing to work. See, this team since April 23rd, they were written off a lot and talked ugly about a lot. And here's the thing, we don't pay no attention to that stuff. And we just stuck together and we believed in ourselves and we bet on ourselves and just kept walking by faith and favor. And you look up and you have an opportunity. And to answer the first part, the opportunity, and I explained this last week, the opportunity was you get Coastal twice, right? If y'all remember, we talked about winning the tournament, or we laid out one other scenario, and that was to win a game, lose a game, and get to play Coastal twice and lose to USM. And I'll be danged if that's not the way it worked out, but we knew we had that opportunity. And the hardest one's going to be the first one, right? And so they go up 3-0 on you, and hey, look, they call them up because it was they had a lot of energy over there. Coastal did, and we were able to have one big inning, and that was enough. And then a hero emerged in Blake Marshall.
Coach, can you compare, especially hitting and pitching, but especially pitching last year, going into this regional, then going to College Station last year? Carson is a lot healthier now than he was then. So just kind of compare where you are this year going to regional last year.
That's an interesting one, Kev, because a lot of the stuff that happened didn't happen until we showed up there, if that makes sense. Kempel's back goes out. Marshak pulls his hamstring in game 1 against TCU. Bo blows out his UCL against TCU. So I would say we're in better shape, but I don't know, man. We just left everything on the field in Montgomery. I don't know. I got sick while we were there. I think it was probably fatigue and allergies, but I mean, it was everybody left everything they had out there. So today's a day off, obviously, and we'll regroup and see where we're at. I will tell you this, we have experience, and we didn't have that a year ago. And we have expectation. And you can say whatever you want. I don't know if that was there a year ago, truly like it is now. I mean, the guys from August, the guys from the last out last year to now, it wasn't about winning a conference tournament, and it was about let's win a regional. And so they've earned that right because they never quit. And they kept going when most people would quit. They kept going, and they outlasted a bunch of people. And here they are. So we'll see what God has in store.
What aspect of the team going into Miami that you are most confident in?
Oddly enough, the pitching. Did anybody in here see that coming? I believe in miracles, though. And guess what? This JT Etheridge and Blake Marshall and, Nezu's a dog and Fluno's developing. We've got to go rinse and repeat, though. The hitters will show up. That stuff comes and goes. What doesn't need to come and go is your pitching. And their pitching got us in a regional right there. They did.
Okay, got time for one more.
Coach, you mentioned about having opportunities. Do you feel like this particular team is the group that just thrives in opportunities with you guys getting another one to play again?
They love to play. They're not afraid of the big stage. They're not afraid of the bright lights. They love to play. They love each other, and they refuse to let go of each other. I think that in itself makes them dangerous. We'll see what plays out.